Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. These art lessons are taught by Mrs. Minto from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. I hope you have fun, create imaginative works of art, and make sure you share them with someone because, after all, the visual arts are meant to be seen. Hey Cape artists, Legend and I are back for the last time as we are visiting the continent of Asia. Today in our video, we're going to be traveling to Russia and Japan. We are traveling to Russia to learn about the Matryoshka, which are the Russian stacking dolls, and then heading off to Japan to learn a little bit more about origami. So pack your bags, jump on the plane, and we're off. Matryoshka is a traditional Russian doll made of wood and painted with colorful ornaments. This doll is one of the most popular souvenirs in Russia. It is also widely distributed abroad under different names such as Aunt Olga, Babushka, or the Mommy doll. Although Matryoshka is called a doll, it's actually a set of several dolls, all different sizes, and they fit inside of one another. The first Russian nesting dolls were carved in 1890 by folk craft painters in Russia. The doll set was painted and consisted of 8 dolls. The outermost was a girl in a traditional dress holding a rooster, and the inner dolls were girls and boys, the innermost being a baby. The origin of the inspiration for the Matryoshka doll is not clear. It's believed that the original artists were inspired by Eastern Asian culture. For example, the doll Honshu, named after the main island of Japan. However, the Honshu figures cannot be placed inside one another. Matryoshka dolls are often designed to follow a particular theme. Originally, themes were often drawn from traditions or fairy tale characters in keeping with the craft's tradition. But since the 20th century, they have embraced a larger range, including Russian leaders, floral, Christmas, Easter, religious, animal collections, portraits, and caricatures of famous politicians, even musicians, athletes, astronauts, robots, and popular movie stars. Now, on to origami. Though it's mostly tied to Japan, origami also has its roots in China and Europe. Origami is the art of folding paper. Its name derives from the Japanese word ori, which means folding, and kami, which means paper. Traditional origami consists of folding a single sheet of square paper, often with one colored side, into a sculpture without cutting, gluing, taping, or even marking it. Paper was introduced to Japan in the 6th century. During that time, the practice of paper folding emerged as a ceremonial ritual. It was not until Japan's Edo period, which was 1603 to 1868, that origami would be viewed as a leisurely activity and art form. Contemporary origami remains true to the traditional Japanese practice in all ways but one. Originally, the practice allowed artists to strategically cut the sheets of paper. Today, however, true origami is sculpted entirely of folds. Alrighty, let's get our supplies ready. So we're going to be needing a glue stick today, a pencil, a pair of scissors, some crayons. Make sure that some of them are skin-colored crayons. Whatever shade you'd like to use is fine. Any kinds of browns or peaches. And then also some bright colors. We'll be needing a marker today, a Sharpie marker or permanent marker, and some markers for coloring. In addition, we're going to be needing 2 pieces of our computer paper today so that we can make all 4 of our Matryoshka dolls. Alright, so step 1, we're going to put 1 paper aside and bring the bottom left corner up to the top edge because we need our paper to be a square, not a rectangle. Don't forget to flatten that edge. This is an origami project, by the way, so we always want to make sure we have nice flat edges. Then you're going to trim off that little extra rectangle, but save it. We need it for later. Okay, so now we're going to take the bottom right corner over to the left side. Before you fold it flat, you want to make sure that top edge is straight across. This one looks pretty good, so I'm going to flatten that out. Make sure you flatten it with your fingernail or rub it with the pencil. The other side does the same thing. That top edge goes right across where the other one is already sitting. Excellent. Now we're going to take the top edge. There's 2 layers up there, and I only want the top triangle, and it's folding down. Flatten that edge. Flip the whole thing over and pull down the other one on the other side. Flatten it really flat with your pencil or your fingernail. Alrighty, your first Matryoshka is done. Now we need our second sheet of computer paper. And we're going to start this one a little different. This time I'm folding the left edge all the way over to the right side. Press it nice and flat. But this time I want you to open it and cut on the fold straight up the center. Perfect. Put the half sheet away. We need it later. Now I'm going to repeat the same steps as before. Bring that bottom left corner up to the top. Fold it flat, cut off the extra rectangle, put that aside, we do need it later, and bring that bottom right corner over to the left side, make sure it's nice and flat across the top, fold it flat, other side wraps across, fold it flat, 2 triangles at the top again, make sure you only grab the one and bring it down, fold it flat. Flip the whole thing over and bring the other one down on the other side. All right, second one finished. All right, on to Matryoshka number 3. There were 2 pieces of scraps, a small one and a half of a sheet. We need the half sheet for this next part. I'm going to start by folding the left side over to the right side. Fold it nice and flat. Open it up and cut straight up the center. Perfect, put that aside, we need it later. Now we fold the bottom left corner up to the top edge, fold it flat, cut off the extra rectangle on the side, keep that little rectangle over in your scrap pile. Now turn it up and bring the bottom right corner to the left edge. Make sure it's nice and flat across the top. Bottom left to the right side. Flatten it out. Find those 2 triangles that are at the top. Bring just the one down. And flip over. And the other one. Matryoshka number 3 is done. On to number 4. For Matryoshka number 4, I need the largest piece of scrap from Matryoshka number 3, which is this one. Now I'm going to fold it in half, left side to right side. All right, open it up, cut straight up the center. Put one piece away, fold the bottom left corner up to the top. Cut off the extra rectangle, put it aside. Bottom right corner over to the left edge. Bottom left corner over to the right edge. Boy, is this one tiny. 2 layers at the top, bring the one down, flip over, and the last one. Excellent. Now you have your 4 Matryoshka. So I have all different sizes here. Next, I want to think about what details I want to add to these. Will they be little Russian dolls or will they be an animal? I'm going to start with the largest one. I can pick whichever side I want to be the front. I like this side to be the front where I can see all the different folds, and I glue the head right over top of all of those. So now I'm going to go through my scraps, find a piece that I think is large enough to draw the head on. Alright, start by putting your piece of scrap paper on top of your Matryoshka. Draw the circle shape that fits perfectly, and then you can start adding details. This time I'm going to make mine as owls. I'll have 4 little stacking owls when I'm all done. So I started with the beak, I added some eyes, I'm adding some feathery marks around the eyes. some other details to the face. I'm going to grab my Sharpie now. I like to outline my details. You do not have to do this step if you don't want to. You could also use a colored pencil or a thin Sharpie if you happen to have one that's thinner than the one I'm using. Then I'm going to add some details to make the body look like the body of my owl. So he's getting 2 wings and some feathers on his tummy. Again, trace with Sharpie. And if you could erase the pencil lines that did not get traced, that's always a good idea. It just makes your art look neater in the end. Right, time to think about color. So will you use markers, crayons, colored pencils, or a little bit of each? I usually use a little bit of each one. Don't be afraid to color out of the lines on the face because you know you're going to cut it out. And for the body, you can always put a piece of one of your scrap papers underneath of there to protect your table. And then cut out the circle shape for the head. So I decided for mine that I didn't like that it was all just one color, so I grabbed a purple crayon and began adding some shadowing all over the face, the body, and the wings. Now I'm going to get my glue stick, put some glue on the back of the owl's head, and stick it right where all those layers are overlapping. I like to turn it over and press it from the back to get it to stick nice and flat. Let's see if he'll stand up. Perfect! All right, I have 3 more to go. Cape artists, I hope you are as proud and excited as I am about your Matryoshkas. These little stacking owls are just adorable. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your art, and I'll see you back here next time at the Heart of a Viking. HOB artists, don't forget to hop on over to Artsonia to upload a photograph of your piece of artwork to your art portfolio. I can't wait to see it.